Hello students, today we are going to discuss a very important thinker, American jurist and philosopher, also part of political theory, Ronald Dworkin. And his thoughts has influenced jurisprudence and law interpretation across the world, including that of India. And law, which is written, codified, factual, has to be supplemented by moral principles. Many times there is no sufficient evidence. Many times there has to be some principles which is derived from political theory has to be applied. Right answer thesis Ronald Dworkin gave. And law, he opposed pure legal positivism. Legal positivism completely separate law from morality. And it says that morality is so subjective, laws are so much objective that morality should not be mixed up with the laws. But Ronald Dworkin rejected that. And in last couple of years, you will be finding so many questions in UPSC Civil Services exam. Questions from constitutional morality. Constitutional morality is not social morality. It's not public morality. It's not religious morality. It has upholding the letter and spirit of the constitution both. And constitutional morality involves no hero worship. There should be fair, just, reasonable restriction on fundamental rights. Moreover, there should not be misuse of powers. Moreover, basic structure of the constitution, moreover, judicial review and checks and balances. And Ambedkar himself claimed that howsoever good constitution we make, unless the upholders are good and moral, it will be failed. So Ronald Dworkin's thought has assumed greater significance in wake of constitutional morality. And constitutional morality is not natural. It has to be cultivated. It has to be nourished. It has to be promoted. And many times it comes into conflict with social morality, like right of privacy, LGBT rights, ending 497 means adultery of wife, to ensure that Article 21 to prevail over those so-called social morality. So as far as Ronald Dworkin is concerned, this question has been asked by UPSC so many times, rights as trump. Trump means what? Trump card will outweigh all other cards. It will prevail over all other cards. It will dominate over all other cards. So right as trump means individual rights has to be given over the preference of common good. Even if government convinces majority of people certain legislation on the ground of common good, there are individual rights which is inherent with the individual. And even if it is not written in constitution, such moral rights of individual must trump, must dominate over the all other consideration, whether it's common good, social good, common welfare, and so on. So individuals have certain rights besides constitution, extra constitutional, which is derived from principles. So Ronald Dworkin distinguished between principles and that of policy. Principle is not policy. Principles are those values which are followed as a matter of faith and commitment. It is in moral domain and it involves rights, while policy is rational cost benefit analysis for achieving certain objectives. So principles, moral principles has to be applied, and there should be moral principles applied for interpretation of law. Judges should also take care of that. And in order to explain this, Ronald Dworkin explained the case of 1889 Riggs versus Palmer case. In that case, grandson murdered his grandparent. Although grandparent in his legal document gave all property to his grandparent after his death, grandson for after his death. But grandson has no patience to get the property early. He killed his grandfather. So legally he was entitled to get the property, but morally he was not, because one should not be benefited from his own bad doings or his own wrongs. So that is the bedrock principle of morality. And only if you apply law, then grandson will get the property as per the will of the grandfather. But the Ronald Dworkin says that one should not be benefited from his own wrongdoings. That is the bedrock principle that should be applied while interpreting the law. So judges should take care of that, right? Answer thesis and law as integrity. So that has to prevail, and right must trump over all other consideration. And the moral principles which is derived from the political theory has to supplement the law, and it will not be extra constitutional. So this is very, very important concept, that rights as trump and how the morality has to be applied, how law as integrity, and how right answer thesis and how even today we see that in our case, many times there is no sufficient evidence. Supreme Court has power under Article 142 to, in wake of no sufficient evidence, it can ensure complete justice by using its power. And that power is not arbitrary or discretionary. That has to be rational. That has to be derived from political theory of morality, principles. So that is very important. That is first component of his thought. Second, his concept of equality as sovereign virtue. Equality as sovereign virtue. So he rejected the lexical order of John Rawls. John Rawls gave lexical order, hierarchy, liberty first, equality second, and difference principle third. But Dworkin says equality as sovereign virtue means it is the state virtue, and he talked about luck egalitarianism. So luck are of two kinds. One is brute luck, which is not in our hand, like physical disabilities, mental disabilities from birth. So that is brute luck, or birth in a poor family. That is brute luck. That is not in our hand, and there should be compensation, endowment, insurance against that. So Ronald Dworkin advocated for compensation against brute luck. Second kind of luck is the option luck. That is ambition-based choices that we make. So equal concern and equal respect. Equal concern means we must have equal concern for even weak, those who has birth into weaker family, those who have natural disabilities, those who are physically handicapped. So equal concern and equal respect, respecting ambition, respecting the choices that we make in our life. So to explain, he gave a hypothesis how resources should be distributed. So he gave two principles of resource distribution. One is endowment sensitive allocation, and another which is based on, that is insurance, social security, and second ambition sensitive allocation. So to explain this, he gave a hypothesis to start from clean slate or from the very beginning. To explain this hypothesis, he gave a hypothesis that a ship carrying a large amount of people are going to the sea and missing the path and losing all connections, losing all directions, and landing to the going to the island. And the set of people in ship have to start a new life from that island. How the resources, that is shells, because there is no paper currency, metallic currency, shells, whatever precious material or resources that were available on the island, how they will be distributed. So the first principle of distribution would be the endowment sensitive, means brute luck against brute luck. So there should be extra cells for those who have natural disabilities, and those whose brute luck were birth in poor family. So there should be endowment, there should be insurance, there should be extra cells, there should be security. So that is the equal concern, that is endowment, that is the against brute luck, the one should be compensated. But once compensated, one should not be compensated again and again. Second is ambition, option luck. Now, in this auction of shells, the people will be asked to have auction and to have the cells to be utilized for the things that they think fit. Means their choice is there, then their ambition is there, then their path, they will choose their own path of progress or their career. So in that case, it is option luck. And the poor are not poor because of rich. Poor are those who may have bad choices. Rich are those who have made good choices in their life. Those who have utilized the resources judiciously. Poor may be not because of by birth, but also because of the bad path, wrong path that they followed, and because of that they could not become successful, they become poor. So rich are not to be responsible for the poverty of the poor. So in this auction, which kind of shell will be preferred by whom? Who will be paying more for this kind of shell? Who will be paying for that kind of shell? And which shell will work in future? Nobody knows. Here, you have ambition, you have choice, you have auction. So in that auction sensitive allocation of shells or allocation of resources, there should be best utilization of resources. So this is more focusing on efficiency, excellence, while this is more focusing on natural disabilities and inequalities. So Ronald Dworkin has given both theories, and in UPSC Civil Services exam, Ronald Dworkin has not explicitly mentioned as political thinker, but so many questions are being asked from him. So I hope you will be able to understand both concepts. That is the first concept, that is the right as trump, that is individual rights should be given preference over collective good, and second as equality as sovereign virtue. So that's it for today.